You're listening to Sports Radio Detroit.
How is this thing still alive?
That's how it starts. That's a pretty sweet intro, actually. What's up? Episode 11 with Trevor Hurley and his dead plant.
Actually,
is it alive?
I think I just realized this is a
Dude,
fake
it's fake as fuck.
thing.
Oh my god. It's so clearly plastic. Like, how is this still alive? Dude, it's made of a coil.
Okay.
I mean, nature's pretty cool, but it doesn't work like that.
Well, you know what? My sister got me this little, for everyone at home, my sister got me this little Christmas tree, and she was like, I don't know if she was retarded too, or I'm retarded because she said it. She was like, hey, here's the Christmas tree you can grow it for next year. So, I don't know.
Again, many questions. One, did she mean in your backyard or your table? Because in that case, you're an idiot.
I don't know, but I almost planted this piece of plastic.
Oh my god, if next year we were back there like, God, it's just not growing. It's been a year. It's still green.
You know what? I'm just so glad I recognized it now, because Christmas was over a month ago, and I just realized that this tree was plastic.
Oh my god. Would have been like, dude, it's still green. I don't know. It's still alive. I don't know.
That's what I was thinking this whole time. I was like, this tree looks flawless, and I haven't done shit. Honestly.
It's like the good relationships.
Yeah.
It's a Two Sides podcast with my esteemed colleague of much genius, Trevor Hurley.
Okay, listen.
Oh god, that was fun.
That's a sad day.
By the way, that was the lovely A Day to Remember with a Shot in the Dark. Because I don't want to forget.
Do you remember our first concert I went to?
Nice. Oh man.
Yeah.
Fucking the last fun one I went to, no offense, parents, was A Day to Remember, Papa Roach, Falling in Reverse, and the band that made Someone Seize. Devil Wears Prada.
Oh.
Did you hear this story?
No.
So Justin Perkins was with us.
Sure.
This chick, while they're playing, they were like just really heavy, like almost too much even for me, and their strobes were going crazy. We didn't think about this at the time, but this chick just grabs Justin from behind him by like the shirt and stares through his chest, like eyes wide open. Like, what the fuck? She's on all the drugs.
Yeah.
And Justin's like, can I help you? What do you want? Are you okay? What do you want? And fucking the worst thing ever was, I said it kind of out loud at one of the points that the song drops. I was like, rock and roll, and then she collapsed.
Oh my god!
And we're like, oh shit. And so Justin sees her collapse, like freaks out a little bit, then looks at me, and I just slowly lifted the devil horns.
Oh.
And he's like, we still laugh about that all the time. After looking back at the lights, me and Derek realized it's probably the fucking, like, it's a seizure, epilepsy.
Yeah.
So we picked her up, dragged her out to the back. She was back by the time Papa Roach came out. She's fine.
Okay.
But that's what it was. It was just partial seizure. You don't always shake. It's so quick that you actually just go down.
I feel like you get put in, like, weird, precarious situations more than anybody else I've ever met in my life.
It's honestly, I'm proud of it.
It's kind of a gift.
Here's another story that you have not heard. Like, I know you haven't heard this one. This is the last Grand Rapids time. It was for Ben's birthday.
Okay.
I might have told it on the show. I'll do a quick version. Got lost in the city after a bar got cleared out because of some scuffle. Not us, but
Sure.
I lost everybody. Started walking to the house I used to always walk to when I got lost, so it was good. Of course the phone died because that's the only way that my adventures happen.
So every scary movie starts, yeah.
Yeah, well, I was walking to that house. I was like, they moved. Fuck. So I got to figure out how to get to that house. There's a river in the way, and I don't know how to get there. Eventually, I crossed the railroad track. But first, I'm sitting under this, like, overpass, just trying to stay warm. Mm-hmm. This car pulls up, like, looks like he's been Ubering all night. Like, puts down the windows, like, hey, dude, you look like you're in fucking trouble. I'll drive you to your address you're trying to get to, no charge. Like, it's all good. It's like fucking 3 a.m. Just
what a guy. Okay.
Like, fuck yeah, all right. I'm desperate. Get in the car. Puts in my address right. It's going the right direction. we get onto the highway just to go to the next exit, and then that's how I get over the river. Fucking, we get on the highway, go to the center lane, and we're going 35 miles an hour. And cars are flying past, and I was like, And then he starts talking, and, like, his first word, I smell it.
Oh.
He's so fucked up. Like, crazy. I don't know how he held it together so good to get me in, but then he's like, we should go to my house and have a beer. I was like, fuck. Like, we're going almost slow enough I could just, like, Grand Theft Auto roll out, but I'm on the highway, so I was like, or, you know, I know a bar right by the house you're taking me to, we could go there. He got pissed off, went up the exit, back onto the highway, and up that exit, and dropped me right back off at that same overpass, and drove away.
No shit!
And I was like, well, that was fucked up. But lesson learned. So I get to the house finally at probably 5 a.m. And I'm locked out. So I was like, my car's right down there. And then I see Ryan, one of the guys that lives there. His van is just out front running. I was like, that drunk fuck it. Like, started it to go get something and went up to bed. So I go in, it's like almost out of gas, so I killed it. And I was like, it's really fucking warm in here. I'm just going to sleep here. So I sleep in the fucking passenger seat. It was nice and warm. I was like, by 7:30, someone will be up, because when we drink, you can get up early. And let me in. And right around 7 o'clock, I slept pretty good in that passenger seat because it was toasty. Trevor's door opens up. That's not Ryan. And he's like, hey. I'm like, hey.
Please tell me it was not somebody else's van?
Yeah, it was a stranger's van.
Oh my god!
So, I'm like, listen. He's like, what are you doing here? I was like, alright, so I got home, I was lost, I got locked out of this house, I swear to God it's this house. I thought this was Ryan, who lives here's van, and it was just running and unlocked, so I turned it off, thinking I was saving his gas, and it was warm, so I slept here. And he's like, thanks for turning it off, why was it running? He's like, I don't know, I just got here. I got here at 5 a.m., I don't know. He's like, alright, well, I'm kind of glad you're here. I was like, okay. He's like, I'm in this car, and I need this van couple blocks over at my house, I'll drive you back here. It's like, fuck it, sure.
What the fuck? Okay.
So I drive this fucking van. And I drive it to his house, and he picks me up, takes me right back to their steps, and as he's leaving, he's like, thanks man, I appreciate it, thanks for, saving me the gas and not letting it run out. And I was like, hey, thanks for letting me sleep in it, it's all good. He's like, yeah, I'm glad you had somewhere to stay. He drives away, and as his taillights are going over that bump where I can't see him anymore, I realized that I left my phone and my car keys in his car.
Oh, you're fucking kidding me?
And I don't know who he is. So I just sat on the steps and went, I have to stop doing this shit.
Oh my god.
And about 15 minutes later, he pulls up, his window comes down, he's like, hey bud. I'm like, dude, you came back. He holds out the phone, the car keys, and a Jesus Loves You card. And I was like, you're a fucking saint. He's like, good luck on the rest of your adventures. Thank you. And I fucking get in my car and I'm ready to just drive home because it's like 8 a.m. now. Click. Doesn't even like click or turn over. It's fucking dead. For whatever reason, my battery was like, fuck you.
Okay.
So that was a whole nother thing. But yeah, that happened.
Please tell me you still talk to that guy. Like somehow you...
I don't know his name. It wasn't on the card. I don't know his name. I never even heard his name. We didn't ask each other.
That's such a fucking bummer, though.
Yeah, but it's kind of like that guy that found your ID.
Which time?
Disc golfing course, and we were at Tilted Kilt.
I fucking forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy was cool.
We met. So okay, we'll tell this story. This guy. Oh fuck, what was his name? We called him Abe Froman because I can't remember his name.
I thought it was Gabe. Maybe not.
No, I don't think so.
No.
But his name. But he.
I remember his face.
Well, I remember his face, right? But he called me when we were drunk at the bar. I didn't have my ID, I didn't have my wallet, didn't have my money. So I lost my money clip on the disc golf course. And I had just gone to the bank like an hour before I went disc golfing. And I had $400 wrapped up in that clip. And I was like, I didn't realize that I fucking lost it until the end of the day. And we searched the disc golf course high and low, and this guy, Abe Froman, we'll call him.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best we got.
He met me up at the bar because
He went to your house.
Yes, so he went to my house first, right? Because what he did was he had it, and I had my business cards in there.
Okay.
And so he took my wallet, left it on the front porch. All $400 there, by the way.
Yeah.
Every dime was there. Drops it off on my porch, and I guess he knocked on the door and nobody answered. I wasn't home at the time, certainly. Well, apparently nobody was there because this motherfucker went back the next day to make sure that my wallet was still there, and he wanted to talk to somebody, be like, hey, I found this wallet, wanted to drop it off. Nobody was there. So he picked up my wallet again, took one of my business cards out, called me, and was like, hey, man, I found your wallet.
Dude, yeah, we're sitting at the bar, and we're like, what? Because you had just told me the story.
Yep.
That you lost it. That motherfucker brings it to Tilted Kilt.
Yeah.
And he's a fucking sweetheart. Still the money's in there. And he's like, what is he, 19 or 20? He couldn't even drink.
Yeah, he couldn't even drink. I was like, man, let me buy you a beer. And he was like, nah, man, I can't drink yet. I mean, I gave the guy $100.
Yeah.
I was like...
That's amazing.
I mean, I was like, it was the least I could do, but I was awestruck.
Yeah.
I was like, every dime was there. Like, the fact that, too, that, like, I dropped my clip and it was so windy that day and all the money just didn't go...
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be slowly picking it up during my shifts.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember I went and looked for it somewhere that day, too.
Yeah.
You told me what hole everything was.
Yeah.
Fucking... Alright. Story time.
Okay, here we go again.
So first, just to break the constant personal story times. Ariana Grande, because, by the way, everybody, Trevor doesn't know the internet, so he's fun to talk to, because he doesn't know what I'm about to say. Yeah. She just got a new tattoo. It's on either her palm or her wrist. I only saw the story quick. And it's something Chinese or Asian, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it's supposed to say, because I didn't read that much, because I just don't care. But it was funny to me that it translated to, because this is why it blew up, it translates to barbecue grill.
What?
So, they got it wrong. Whoever did the tattoo, it translates perfectly to barbecue grill.
Wow. Now, but is that bullshit, or was it legitimately barbecue grill?
I mean, so it came out maybe yesterday. I don't care enough to go see if it's real. You know what?
I think
for the show's sake,
yeah.
I would say Ariana Grande new tattoo comes up pretty fucking quick. Tries and fails to fix botched Japanese tattoo.
Oh no!
Well, you don't add more. Dude, she added a second line to it that would somehow make it like. All right, first of all, if this is true, so the top line is what was there, and she added the bottom line, and how the fuck does that help?
Barbecue grill and then something and a heart.
Yeah, like, I love barbecue. I want to know what it says now.
Oh, man.
Headline, Ariana Grande attempts to fix botched Japanese tattoo, somehow makes it worse.
I don't know, man. I feel like that's something I would do, but I feel like I would intentionally get a tattoo that says barbecue grill in Japanese.
It now says small charcoal barbecue grill. Dude, honestly, just popped in my head, small conspiracy that all tattoo artists fucking love Pete Davidson. So they're all in this thing, and they're gonna, anybody that does their tattoo, like, oh, we'll fix it up. Once I do this, it'll say, like, the name of your new song title. So then he just added charcoal barbecue grill. Like, everyone's just fucking with her.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Pete Davidson is?
No.
Alright, so Saturday Night Live, he sometimes comes in on Weekend Update. I know him for his stand-up. He's fucking hilarious, but he's not,
okay,
like, he doesn't have specials out.
I'll take your word.
He's one of my favorite comedians.
Okay, fair.
And they dated for, I don't know, maybe enough that it made the news. Mm-hmm. And they met on SNL. That's probably why it was, like, kind of a high-profile togetherness.
Okay.
And then she fucking dumped him for a joke.
For a joke?
It's a comedian, though. But she was fucking awful to him, so.
I mean, probably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end, I don't know. They seem happy. She seems like an airhead, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah?
Like, a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that story. Charcoal barbecue grill. It got better since. I'm glad we looked it up.
It just goes up and up.
It'd be funny if there was a conspiracy. Like, any tattoo artist she goes to, they're like, we're with Pete.
We're with Pete.
All right. I think you know the story, but maybe not.
Okay.
Wedding story. This is the one that I always, like, don't want my parents to hear.
Oh,
but it's too good.
Why? I don't understand how you do this.
Okay, so this one, I was so bad, and my phone was actually gone.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if it was dead. It's our buddy's wedding. It's up in Ubley, which is, like, middle of nowhere. Mm-hmm. It's literally, like, there was 8 buildings in the gas station, and that was the town of Ubley, but they had a golf course with the banquet hall, so that's why we were there. It was about 5 miles through nothing to Bad Axe, which was a little bit bigger town that had a hotel.
Where Bad Axe is, yeah.
So the Holiday Inn there was where everyone was staying. Sure. The bus would take us from there to there, if I was there. Mm-hmm. I did something really stupid that I actually won't ever tell anyone on the internet what happened. But it made me very sad, so I ran away.
Okay, so you're going to tell me as soon as this cuts? Yeah, okay, go ahead.
It's so fucking bad. But here's where my story begins. I wake up in a field.
Naturally.
In a suit. It's the only time I actually woke up somewhere blacked out. I usually just get lost and just can't find my way backward. Uh-huh. The funniest part about that one I told you earlier is when we were out for his birthday, Ben was telling everybody, like, Ponke's going to disappear tonight. And everyone's like, yeah, sure, whatever. He's like, no, you don't understand. There's nothing we could do. He's going to be gone. We're going to wait up as long as we can, and if not, he stayed somewhere and he'll have a story in the morning.
Yeah.
And then at some point, Ryan was like, he's fucking gone. Like, So anyway, I wake up in the field. I'm next to 18 bales of hay. I stand up, and there's a house with a dog outside, so I waited, like, crouched down until the dog went inside, found the main road, and I'm walking back and forth trying to find this golf course. Apparently, I passed it, like, 18 times, but...
How do you walk past a golf course 18 times?
Because it is pitch black, all the lights are killed, and it looked like every other farm driveway.
Okay.
I couldn't, there's no way you saw it.
Taking your word.
I get all the way into the downtown. I'm like, no, that's not it. So I go back and forth many times, try and find my phone and glasses that I lost. And I finally, it's not bad out, but a little chilly. I'm in a suit. I'm fine, covered in blood, whatever.
Covered in blood?
Mud.
Wow! Was I there?
No, that's too much. That's too crazy.
Okay, mud. Okay.
Milder. So, I passed this place that had clearly a work truck and a shop a couple times. I was like, I'll leave my work truck unlocked. Let's try it. It was unlocked.
How many other people, how many cars have you slept in that were yours, Ponke?
Only like 3 more in this story. Okay. So, I got in there and it kind of calmed down, and there was just a ton of keys in it. So I was like, I'm going to try all of them and figure this out in the morning. And none of them worked. So then I look in the back seat for more keys, and there's a rifle case. And I was like, well, it'd be irresponsible for me not to teach them not to leave an unlocked truck with a rifle case.
Oh, here we go.
So I take it out. It's a bolt-action .22 rifle. Uh-huh. So I just, like, unclipped it all over the floor of the passenger seat, and I took 3 bullets for the story. Then I, like, wiped everything, put it back.
You wiped everything like you thought they were going to take your fingerprints?
I was paranoid. These fucking ugly people.
Okay.
So then I was like, the work truck was unlocked. Let's see if the shop's unlocked. And it fucking was.
Oh, have mercy.
So I go in there. It's heated. If I knew anything about parts, anything I wanted was in there. But I went right to the tractor and slept in the tractor. So I was like, I've been having a good run. Let's get out of here. So I go all the way down, walk down into downtown. I, like, sit down against the gas station. And this lady pulls up before I can even put my head back. She pulls up, opens the store up. She's like, it's 6 a.m. You all right? I was like, no.
No.
So she lets me in, lets me use her phone. So I started calling people, and there was no service at all. Uh-huh. And I was like, there's, like, no service out here. She's like, yeah, no, we can't make calls. I was like, why do you live here? So then I just it had, like, a Subway attached, so it had booths. So I just bought some shit and just sat there and, like, waited till I figured something out. These 2 guys come in for clearly their morning coffee, and they're kind of looking at me.
Please tell me they're in suits, too, so they knew you from the night before.
No. They're just fucking, you know, truck driver, whatever the fuck they are. They live out there. But they see me in a suit covered in mud. They kind of look me up and down, stop talking, and go, Smith wedding?
Oh, my.
Because it's a small town, so that was a big deal for them.
Yep.
I was like, yeah.
Wow.
They're like, you're probably staying at the Holiday Inn in Bad Axe and you didn't make it. I was like, yeah. He's like, I'm going to get parts in Bad Axe. You want to ride? I was like, yeah. So he drives me. I get into the hotel room at like 9 a.m. Obviously, like, our room was just me and Ben. Fucking Ben sits up, starts just about to yell at me. It's like, dude, what the... And I took out the bullets and just threw them at him. And I was like, I'm going to lay down. And he was just like, oh, shit, okay.
You have no idea what I've been through!
So I just I napped until, like, checkout. It was all good. And so then I'm like, I lost my phone. It might be in that field, and I think I'll recognize it with the hay bales in the house. So the next day we drive, and we look by the truck, and I remember that I had, like, stole some shit from in the shop. Like, that would help me later in my journey. I took, like, a headlamp. I took,
And you left it all anyway, but go ahead.
Well, I took a ring of keys. And then, so I was leaving, and as I left, I felt bad, so I took them off. But I just left them on the hood of that fucking truck. So they're still sitting there. And I was like, oh, we gotta go. Just go. I don't want to explain this.
Yeah.
So then we find that house. And it's this older couple sitting on their front porch. And Ben's like, I'm not helping you with this. If you want to go ask them if you could look in their yard like a fucking psycho, go ahead.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it. I walk up. I'm like, hey, this is going to sound really weird, but I was at that wedding at the golf course last night, and I woke up in your backyard.
You mean the Smiths wedding?
Well, she was like, and I was like, they're older. I don't know how they're going to taste it. She's like, honey, if I had a nickel every time I had the same story, let's go look. I was like, what? Oh my God. Dude, he took out a tractor, started moving some of the hay to see if like it fucking fell between them or something.
Wow.
They were so sweet. They're like, we'll let you know if we like do some lawn work and find it, and gave him Ben's number and everything. So nice. They never found it. It was probably somewhere else in my escapades, but...
Okay, let me ask you two questions, right? First of all, how the fuck do you find people that are, like, so nice and willing to not put you in jail?
I believe that this is the only reason that I'm still here, is that every story I find those people.
Right. And then my second question is, how many times have you been to jail?
Dude, I'm still on a goose egg. Those stories alone all were deafenings, especially if you heard what happened at the wedding before.
Is that the part you can't tell on the air?
Yeah. I know if Ben ever listens, he's like, that jackass, no, you can't talk about that, don't do it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was, so many stories like that.
Yeah.
And every time I'm like, I should definitely stop.
I mean, like...
I'm getting better, but...
Like,
no.
I mean, like, I've been sitting here with you for, like, a half hour, and, like, I can think of, like, 8 felonies in the last...
Oh, yeah. Totally. Yeah. I think that story has the most pound for pound in one story at once. Because I did try and break into a couple other places in the town, but it wasn't worth mentioning.
Yeah, multiple counts of breaking and entering, theft,
Alright, here's the one that happened in Hazel Park.
I'm not even ready for this. Go ahead.
We went to the horse track.
Wait!
First and only time I've been there. I won like $25 in Keno, and I was going to cash it out. And these 4 guys came up, saw like that I had won, and tried to beat me up for it. So like one swung on me, and there's too many of them, so I just kind of like got out of there, left them the ticket, and didn't realize just how bad I was because I had never had Four Loko before.
Yeah.
So it was one of those. I started just running through the city of Hazel Park. And by city, by the horse track, it's actually just houses.
Okay.
So I kind of remember just jumping fences and like fucking sneaking past windows and shit.
Yep.
Like an idiot. There was definitely a point where there's this one certain spot that I liked hopping over because like I could jump on this box, the dumpster, and then over the fence. Well, I caught my foot once and just went like right on the ground.
So hold on, you like ran back and forth.
I was
like
basically parkouring in people's backyards.
Wait, but you just made it sound like you hit this one spot multiple times.
Well, yeah, that one I liked. So So literally what was happening, I was like, that part's cool. And I keep doing it good. So I would like branch out towards these houses and then make my way back, do that move, and then branch out towards those houses and keep going. Well, eventually I was like, this is fucked up. I got to figure out where I'm at. And then Ben's calling me. Thankfully my phone actually works this time, but I'm having so much fun that I'm not paying attention to it.
Yeah.
So I see like 18 missed calls, and then Ben finally calls me as it's going to die. And I answer. He's like, dude, where are you? And I'm sitting in this fucking, like, distribution yard. And I was... Ben's version of it, he's like, I called you. I was like, dude, where are you? Went, Sarah Lee. And then hung up. And he's like, Sarah fucking Lee. So he stops the car, and he looks up Sarah Lee. And there was a distribution plant right there. He's like,
wow!
How great. Because I just looked at one of the trucks and said Sarah Lee. And he found me.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah, that's how that one went down.
Wow, that's so lucky too.
I know.
Like, how, like not only did he decrypt what you were saying, but somehow in your endeavors you were able to recognize hey, there's a landmark.
Yeah, it was just a truck that said Sarah, and he's like I heard him go like the bread when I hung up. So what the fuck? I'll look it up. Hey, Sarah Lee. I guess I'll look there. Then he found me.
Man, I just feel like there's so many times where you and I both should have either been dead or in prison.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Dude, people are always asking me, when I tell these stories, they're like, can we just, not have our phones, just get drunk, and can I follow you?
No, that's not the way this works.
No, it has to be on accident. Fucking, during that latest one in Grand Rapids, when I was trying to figure out how to cross the river, I crossed these railroad tracks that was a bridge.
Yeah.
Making it about halfway across, making about 10 steps in, I realized, I should probably try and hurry up because there's not enough space for me and train if it does come. Because it's a skinnier, it's just wood. And then as I'm going, trying to hurry up, all of a sudden there's just missing, wood planks. So I gotta, really watch where the fuck I'm stepping. And it's making me see how far down it is, right to the water. I was like, this is fucked up. And I started going kind of fast, but, really watching my step. And I realized this is, that's way too far. This is really fucked up. I'm going back. And I turned, and I was, at the halfway point. It's like, fuck! So, I had to get the rest of the way across, because I don't want to be the blonde that made it 75% and tried to swim back.
Yeah.
So, but I made it.
That's also the second story in a half hour that involved train tracks.
Well, that was that one. I never finished the train track part of it. That was the one where they got into the strangest cars.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
Also, that one in Ubley, there was another shop where that was all gated off, but there was 18 work trucks, and they were all unlocked. So I'm a dick.
Oh god, here we go.
I went into all of them, and I would just move one of the visors down, or open the center console, or take out the cup holder. I did something small but random in every single one of those trucks.
You are a piece of shit.
I know. Because I just wanted, they don't have internet or connection to the outside world, so I'd never hear about it. But I wanted, the whole city to be like, what the fuck happened last night?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so irresponsible on so many levels, but...
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'll save that first night in Grand Rapids one with the almost shooting for a different podcast. So that was a lot of the best ones, though. My best what the fuck, where am I stories.
Honestly, man, I really don't have any of those, and it kind of makes me want to go get fucked up and just...
See, every time, though, people say that. You really don't.
No,
but it is. If it all works out and you meet those nice people that get you through it, it's fucking awesome, and it's a great story for the rest of your life.
Like I said, 84 times you should have been in prison. And
yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I wasn't allowed on those train tracks. At all. That one was probably federal.
Yeah?
I mean, right? You can't just walk down train track. I don't know, maybe.
Why not?
Because it was a bridge and, literally there was no walking path.
I mean, you could have died, probably, real easily.
But it'd be fine with the law.
Right.
Why didn't we have a law about that? They wouldn't have read it.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
I got nothing, man. Sorry. I mean, like, it was like my the last time I tried to tell the fun story about me getting in a fight in a bar, like almost getting in a fight in a bar, and you're just like, let me shit on that real quick. So it's like, I don't know.
See, I didn't make any of that up though. Like I
bet you
said
didn't.
the worst fucking luck or best. It's probably best for the story, but
Yeah.
at the time it seems like the worst because every one of those, like, usually me and Ben have to drive a long way home and just in silence with him like, dude, why the fuck do you keep disappearing? It's like, it's your fault for not buying me a beeper.
You can just get like walkie-talkies with like a 2-mile.
That's usually not enough. It's always farther. Always farther.
Oh.
I feel bad because this one was pretty much just me telling stories.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I don't get to see you very often with all your work endeavors, so it's always nice to hear the news stories.
So here's something that just happened. Like, that's not just a me story.
Sure.
So they brought me into work for, like, on, like, the -6 day. Mm-hmm. So at the time, I thought that was the coolest. So, like, why the fuck are you bringing me in for, like, nothing? I went in for 2 hours. They went, yeah, we got nothing. Go. So I was like, what the fuck? So I went up. I knew they were going to call me back when something happened. So I went up to Stony Creek and just visited everybody. And while I was there catching up with everyone, the supervisor gets a call. One of the guys that works there but was off that day lives right by Consumers Energy. Mm-hmm. He's like, dude, I thought my house was going to get blown down. The entire factory just blew up. And, it's on fire now.
Yeah.
So that's how I found out about it. He's like, dude, what? Consumers Energy just blew up?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm probably going to have to go there.
Did you?
No. We will once the aftermath.
Yeah.
Like, once the fire's done. Like, we don't deal with during. We do the cleanup after. So, but they called me in to go back to the airport to finish this job because, this guy was so pissed. He was such a dick about it. He's like, we brought you here to clean up this shit, and it's still all over under these pallets. I was like, okay, all right, it's not my place, but I'm the first one here, so I'm just going to tell you, when we were here and we cleaned up all that shit, they took those pallets away. We were going to clean them, but then they disappeared with them. They were soaked with it, you brought it back, and then it seeped out of them. And then I held in, you're a fucking moron. So then, actually, like, once people realized and one of the guys above him figured out he was being a dick and, like, that's what happened, they sent him home and they're like, sorry about fucking Matt or whatever the fuck he is. And they're like, we know that's what happened. It's not your guys' fault. So they helped us out and cleaned it up. Then I had to go and pick up a part from Wixom that I took to fucking Cleveland, Ohio that night and then drove all the way back.
Yeah, because that's 8 minutes down the road.
Yeah, it's a quick one, quickie. And then I get back. The best part was I didn't have to go into this meeting we had at 8 a.m.
Okay.
But then, today, luckily nothing came of it. Also, fuck you, Frank, for not calling me back and going, hey, it's not happening. He called me around like 11:30 today and went, there's a possibility that we need you, so just get ready. Don't come down to the shop yet, but be ready. You might have to go assist with the spill in Cleveland. And I was like,
I just laughed!
I know. It's a spill. They didn't, obviously it wasn't planned. I was like, fine. Motherfucker never contacted me again. Not even a text to be like, hey, it's not happening. So after like 4 hours, I was like, I'm going to Trevor's. It's closer to the shop. Like, go fuck yourself.
And here we are!
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So it's confirmed. I think I'm going to Coyote Joe's. I'm going to meet up Nick Pitas. Fucking, you're going to, what, Muldoon's?
Yeah, I'm going to, well, hopefully I hang out with a lady friend first. Partake in some herbal nature, and then partake in some liver-destroying substances.
Cheers. Hope you have one of my nights.
I mean, I probably will. It's like every time.
So yeah, because now, like, you're going to just be sitting there like, I could just leave my phone with them and just walk and see what happens.
Yeah.
You'll be like, dude, I'm locked in one of the bathrooms at Jimmy John's Field. I don't like this. This isn't fun. I don't know why you do it.
Nope. I don't know, Ponke, I respect your life and I respect your shit, but I don't want anything to do with it. I don't think...
That's a good way of putting it, honestly. It's the best I've heard. So, like, then I've got kind of a reputation for that after a certain amount of stories like that. So I got this thing where it was like, it was a headline where one of the Wolverines, not the Michigan like football, like the actual animal that nature documentary guy was following, got high, snuck into a campground, ate like everyone's picnic, and showed up while carrying a beer unopened back to where he was studying him.
Interesting, okay.
And my friends were like, dude, this is Ponke. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, pretty much. See, I don't know. Me, I can't say that because I'm kind of known for the same reasons, except when when I decide to get stupidly stoned, it's just a bad idea. Like, I don't know if I told you this, but I'll make it real quick. My sisters and I, I went with my one sister to visit my other sister who was living in Germany, and from there we were like, we're going to Amsterdam!
Well, yeah, duh.
So I went to Amsterdam, smoked like a full package. So when they sell their joints, they sell them in like a pack like you would buy cigarettes.
Yeah.
So there's like 6 of them in there.
Fucking sweet.
I smoked like the whole fucking pack on my own, and I ended up walking for miles throughout Amsterdam. And just,
That's a Ponke story.
yeah, apparently I ended up putting like €30 into a slot machine, and apparently it was like a toy slot machine that was quite clearly fake, and my sisters took all the money and went to buy food, and I ate an entire doner kebab, and I've been known as Tubby McFatfuck ever since, and I walked throughout the entire red light district just stoned as shit, just casually like, so I mean,
Oh my god, that's great.
yeah. So if you want to have fun with you, drink. If you want to have fun with me, get stoned.
Yeah. Yeah, we might as well. We'll call us the crossfade.
Yeah.
See what
right?
happens.
You know what, man? I can see. At least when every time that you've gotten lost, it's been within this country.
Yeah.
Mine was on another continent.
I mean, I only got lost in Germany for a little bit, and I wasn't drunk.
Okay,
So-
okay, that's fair. That's
Well,
fair.
I guess I had a couple beers. Some tree air. But I just made a wrong turn and then backtracked
Yep.
and made my way. It was all good. That one. No Germans had to go like, oh, fucking, if I had a whatever they spend every time I heard that story.
Yeah.
Is it Euro there? Germany?
Germany is Euro.
Jews?
Yeah, I've actually been to Trier. Yeah.
Trier? Yeah, the city of pigs.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the only, like, real city we went to.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, because it was probably Air Force.
Yeah, my sister's husband.
That's probably the same goddamn base.
Ramstein?
Yeah.
Yep.
No way.
Yeah. I just remember going on the base too, and they're like, we're going to have to take your fingerprints. And I was
Like, you're adorable.
well, actually, you know what? I totally just made that up because Ramstein is like the most America part of Germany there is possible. It's an American base, so it's like every motherfucker there is.
Well, yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah, like we got fucking bowling alleys and there's like bars in there and whatever.
Yeah.
No one has an accent.
No.
Because it's basically like, it's the size of fucking Dow in Midland, but it's just like an American city.
Yeah.
And then the closest like city, I think, is Trier. That's actually like a city of Germans. There might have been smaller towns, but Trier is pretty big.
Yeah.
They had like
Trier
the
is pretty
big train station that went everywhere and got you back to Frankfurt.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to think on that. We've been in the same places, man.
Dude, like, I left the country once and it was where you went.
Hey, there you
Same
go.
fucking place. That's funny. Alright.
I left the country a few times, actually. Just wrap it up real quick. Me and the latest time I left the country was me and my mom flew all the way to London just to go see a Phil Collins concert.
Oh, yeah, you told me that. How'd that go?
Oh, that was fucking fantastic, man. He started touring in the States like a month later, but it was like... We knew that was probably going to happen, but we're like, no, let's go to London. So that's what we did.
Was he still standing?
No.
No, he was sitting already?
He was sitting already.
Because it just made news that he's, like, office chairing it.
Yeah.
How long ago did you go?
Oh, shit, that would have been right around a year ago from this point.
Oh, okay. It's not crazy long ago.
Nah, it was good though.
All right, children, this has been fun. Thank
Yeah.
you again to Trevor Hurley. It's been a blast.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on again.
And I want you on again in a couple episodes. I really got to get better at, like... See, I the reason I held this one on too long is I wanted, like, the 10th to be special.
Yeah.
But, like, I just got to get content out there. You
Let's
know
get
what I mean?
it.
All right. See you guys. Fucking... That should be... I get fucking lost everywhere.